go. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube. Hello, wherever you're watching this from. Uh, Bear with us real quick. We're going to get this on the socials. I've got Danielle Andrews here, broker owner of Realty One Group Next Generation down in Tallahassee, Florida, and surrounding areas. What's up, Danielle?
Hey.
Thanks for joining us today. Looking forward to your wisdom. Hang on, I'm going to get this going here. There we go. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to share to my personal page. I am live with Danielle Andrews. Share now. Okay, Danielle. So in a second or two, it should be popping up on my page if you're on it, and then you can share to yours.
Yes, I see it.
You got it? Okay, good
All my
deal.
followers can check it out.
Okay. So you got that all worked out. Let's dive in then. If you're just joining us, maybe you're watching the replay, I welcome you. Very excited for this. This is round 16, if you can believe it, of the Broker Showdown, which is again where we'd love to feature top leaders, top broker owners in the real estate space who are out there making things happen. Danielle is no exception. We've been our exclusive partners with Danielle and her crew for what is it, year plus, somewhere in that
A
ballpark.
year. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And she is doing some amazing things. You're going to see how smart and servant driven she is, and her passion for leadership and teaching, not just her agents, but really in the community. And she's built quite a reputation for herself. And I look forward to sharing and diving into some of that with all of you today. So Danielle, thank you so much for being here. And why don't you just give us a quick intro, who you are, where you're at, all the goodies, and I'll do the same. We'll go right into it.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, Jake. I'm really excited to be a part. I can't believe how quickly a year has been since we've been partners with the Locker Room. I am the broker and owner of Realty One Group Next Generation in Tallahassee, Florida. We are licensed and serve Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. We are in such a unique geographic position to be able to work all of those markets. And I'm just super excited having been the broker and owner of this company for the past 3 years, for all of the growth we've been able to see in the past year through our partnership with the Locker Room, and can't wait to tell y'all some more about it.
Let's go. I love it. Yeah, she has been amazing. When Danielle, when I remember when you first reached back out to me and we began exploring the partnership together, I was like just fist pumping behind the scenes because I've just admired you from afar and just love what you, and shout out to Coach Brent, what y'all are doing.
Yes.
Some really great stuff coming out of it. So. Okay. If this is our first time hanging out, real quick about me, my name is Jake, obviously, founder, CEO of The Locker Room, where we specialize in working with broker owners like Danielle on all things related to growth, retention, productivity, and profitability. I'm also co-founder in the Locker Room Leadership and Coaching Academy with my business partner, Kit. Shout out to Kit. And that is an ICF, International Coaching Federation accredited institution. So people that are really serious about getting certified, maybe you're in the line of consulting work, high level leadership or coaching, would want to go through that to get their ICF certification. So really cool. And just obsessively passionate about serving, just like Danielle and so many of the other leaders that we've featured on this episode. And I'm excited to dive into this. So enough about me, Danielle, and everybody watching this. How this works, I maybe failed to mention this earlier, is I have 3 questions prepared in advance for Danielle, and she has 3 questions for me. Anything goes. We don't know what the other person's going to ask the other. So it's fun, it's raw, it's edgy, and I love it. It's been amazing so far. So Danielle, you ready for me? Got my first question teed up for you.
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay. So my first question, and cheating, if you have watched any of the prior episodes, this is the only question I always ask my guests. That question is this: if I was an agent in your market right now, considering a change in brokerages, maybe I'm watching this episode or I've been kind of stalking you on Facebook or something a little bit, tell me, what is your unique value proposition, and why would an agent like me consider joining you, or at least meeting with you to have that conversation?
love that question because what a lot of people forget is you don't work for a brokerage, you work with a brokerage. You are in partnership. And so for us, our proposition and value is that we are a true partner. So we have a physical location space that you can utilize as your office, right? We're going to have a collaborative and not competitive, right? But still fun. We still implement some competition environment where we can grow together as a one family, as we call it. Our agents have ability to contact me, probably sometimes to my husband's detriment. Like, oh my gosh, can we watch this movie without someone calling? But they can contact me, call, text, email anytime that they need. And so we really are in business together. And we enjoy having and working with our agents and seeing them grow from that initial stage when they come to us to blossoming in their career.
Uh, very well said. And follow-up questions, because hey, it's our show. We get to make the rules around here. We might cheat and do more than 3 questions. All right. But and I love that. And that is so consistent and congruent with who you are, because speed the leader, speed the team, I feel. And the fact that you can articulate that, number one. What I didn't hear you say was, well, we have the best commission splits and tech stacks, like most other brokers would answer that question. You went straight to environment, collaboration, family, availability, and support. And I love above all else that you're true partners in business. So just a quick recap, follow-up question. How does what you just described influence the way you go about attracting, hiring, recruiting agents, and the clarity you have of, yes, this person is for us, no, this person is probably not for us? Could you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so that same mindset, it's funny how it follows you because it drives a lot of what we do and what we're involved. So many of our agents are involved in community and civic organizations. And so they do other things right outside of just selling real estate. They are in social clubs and groups and attending chamber meetings and council meetings, and they're involved. And so that same heart of service and making sure we're working together to grow something bigger, because of what I'm involved in, community groups, what they're involved in, we're able to, again, grow our brand through attraction. So many of the friends they have in social circles, hey, I am interested in speaking with you because so-and-so just told me how much she loves it here. Or I'm able to connect with someone, or someone in one of my groups refers someone. And so it just allows us to continue to build, we call it a culture, because we have other like-minded individuals, because that service-driven model and community-based model is within us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it shows. And I really love that. I did some homework on you prior to this and talking to Brent. I'm like, all right, give me some stuff. And he wanted me to ask about how that leadership and that culture and vibe that you've created extends beyond just the brokerage itself. And I think you just hit on that, right? You guys are out there in the community, giving back, serving the very people that you hope to be able to help support when their time is ready to buy, sell, invest in real estate.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Great. Awesome. All right. Not that there was a pass fail, but I would say you absolutely passed the test. And if agents want to be a part of that culture, want to be more involved, a part of something greater than self, boy, if they're looking in your area, Danielle, I'd definitely say they owe it to themselves to have a meeting with you, and whatever happens from there happens. And I don't get paid to say that. Of course, I'm a little biased because I think Danielle's pretty awesome, but that's great. Awesome job. Okay, over to you. Bring it on. What you got? First question.
Okay, so one of the questions I have for you was centered around all that you do and work in coaching and agent development, right? So you've been doing that for a while now. So what would you say is something that agents have the best intentions, agents or brokers have the best intentions in doing, think it's great, but can also, when they're implementing it, potentially sometimes be to their downfall? Is there anything you've seen kind of be that one, like seems great, but isn't actually as great as it seems?
I've never been asked that question before. Really fascinating question. So I could take that both angles. You said agent or broker.
Mm-hmm.
Here's kind of a bland answer across the bow for no matter who you are. And maybe this will hit on the question, maybe won't. You let me know. Something that they do that I've seen patterns of is they tend to put creativity before models and systems. So whether
Ooh.
you are an agent or a broker, typically speaking, we're entrepreneurs. We like to live in the vision, the future state. We're creative with marketing and different ideas of what we could do. And sometimes the boring, the mundane, the repetitious stuff that you and I both know works, Danielle, is
Mhm.
kind of the catch-22 for some, is because once it starts working, they have this thirst or this need oftentimes to get creative and stray away from the very things, the blocking and tackling of this business that worked in the first place. And so I do see a lot of people in real estate specifically, and it's probably not isolated to real estate, but that's the world we live in, put creativity before models and systems. And I like to use this analogy in some of the trainings that I give around baking a cake. Okay, so just humor me here. If one of my daughters had a birthday coming up, and dear old dad here wanted to bake one of them a cake, first, listen, I'm good at some things. I'm really bad at a whole bunch of things. And one of the things I'm not gifted at is knowing how to bake. All right. So what would somebody like me do? Well, first thing, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to look up and find aisle 6 because that's what tells me where the baking supplies is. At least I'm smart enough to do that. And then I get to the aisle with all the baking supplies and I'm overwhelmed with choices. I'm overwhelmed with all these creative things or options that I could do. And so I scan and I finally grab that box. And the reason I grab that box is because of what's on the front of it. I want the result that's on the front of the box. Makes sense? And so the next thing I should do is turn the box around and see what. My job isn't done yet. I'm seeing what are the ingredients I need and what are the steps? What is the system, in other words, to create the duplicatable, the predictable outcome that it says on the front of the box. If you just do this, 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 and this, turn the oven on at this temperature for this amount of time with these ingredients, you are assured the outcome on the front of the box, right? So I'm being metaphorical, and yet how many times in real estate does an agent say, well, I want to earn $100,000 in real estate? Or a broker owner says, I want to get out of production and retire on, the mailbox money because after all, I'm the owner. I want all those things for people. Absolutely. And generally, there's a model, a recipe for your success, and you just got to know the ingredients and the order of operations to produce that outcome. Because if I added creativity first, I'm going to measure things wrong. I'm going to jack with the recipe and the steps, and it's not going to turn out the way it told me it would.
Mm-hmm.
All this serving as an analogy or a metaphor, I guess, really, to I'm answering your question of what do I often see them do? Well, I could go a million different directions. But holistic, I see people trying things creatively and they just bounce from one idea to the next, never following a system, never following a proven path, and never sticking with it long enough to master the recipe.
I love that. You answered it perfectly. Very well said. I see that a lot. I'm guilty of it myself. Sometimes you just can have such a great vision. You're really charged up by this idea and have not necessarily thought about the systems, the plan for longevity, or how to automate it, right? There are so many things that many of us brokers and agents are bogged down in doing because we've missed the systems, but it is an excellent concept and it could be producing great results, but we're working harder there instead of smarter on it.
Absolutely. It's a system. A system is a fancy business word or a buzzword these days for really it's just a checklist or a duplicatable
Yes.
step-by-step that's a system, guys. So if you're an agent watching this, let's say, and you're really good at open houses, document it. Document the recipe. Document the order of operations, because if you keep it up here, you can never fully systematize it or duplicate it if you started a team or wanted leverage, because it lives up here and you've never taken time to document. So
Agreed.
awesome. All right. Thank you for the question. Very good. Good start. My second question for you today is, as a former teacher, now turned powerhouse broker owner, author, influential leader by evidence of recognition, like I believe it was the 2024 Housing Wire Woman of Influence. We're like in royalty presence here. So all that, how has your prior career in education shaped the way you lead others today, and or how has it shaped the way that you operate a brokerage today?
What's interesting is, although we grow in wisdom, ideally with getting older, our learning style really does not change much as we evolve, right? If we've kind of always been more of a hands-on learner, that sticks, and so on and so forth, but also the way we process and understand information. And so for me, having been an educator, and I have degrees in education leadership. So that philosophy of adult learning as well as adolescent learning stick with me. It has helped me in breaking down more larger, complex concepts and being able to teach those in a manner where they're not only chunked, but they can be driven home effectively. And so whether that is on the consumer side and being able to help a buyer, seller, investor, and understanding their process, or on the agent side and coaching and developing agents. Earlier today, we just completed a training at the office on I'm under contract, now what? So how do we take the big yay, I've got a contract, to yay, holding the key, sold sign? What about all of those steps in between and the time it takes to get from point A really to point Z on closing day? So my education background, I always joke with people that I do still use my education degree, and the classroom just looks different. Because people ask what education is required for real estate. And we know technically a degree is not one, but I wouldn't trade that experience for anything because it has helped me become a better broker.
That is so good. That's actually, I was very fascinated. That was one of the questions I was looking forward to asking you the most, because I just love people's origin stories, knowing that there's something from a prior career that you were influenced that you carry with you in the next thing, and then the next thing. And so, what was I just going to ask you? Oh, so what I heard was you take this very individualized approach with each agent because the learning styles don't change. Their goals change, the market changes. But I think you have a massive competitive advantage as a former educator, still an educator, but in a different way,
Yeah.
to really adapt your styles and hit on all those points. And I'm going to butcher this, but it's like visual, audio, what's the touch one?
Kinetic. Yeah.
Kinetic, like all that stuff that it sounds like you incorporate into your trainings. Has there been a training that has just really stuck with your agents? I mean, it's like you've incorporated all these different styles and they still say, Danielle, when are we going to have that training? Is like, what is that? What's a glimpse behind the curtain of some of the trainings and different things that tend to go over quite well with your people?
Yeah, what's funny is the ones where they can embrace all of those learning styles, and particularly where they're doing them themselves. So let's take, say, like a social media content creation one, right? That type of class would be less effective for the masses, right? If they were only being told, here's how you create a video, here's the best practices for doing a reel. And then, as opposed to, if you're hearing it, you're seeing the proof on the screen and you're seeing the steps as you go, and you have your cellular device or whatever electronic, and you're doing it at the same time. So that, and it's funny, one of our agents actually just taught that one in July, but that type of model and framework that we use for the trainings is what most. And so we've actually, even thinking back to that July class, seen several of our agents implement what they learned there immediately and want a part two because it embraces all learning styles.
Absolutely genius. Because I'm just sitting here thinking, if I was an agent in your firm, in your organization, that plays so well because we can't learn this stuff from a textbook. We don't learn how to do real estate because of real estate pre-licensing school. This is something that you got to learn,
Mhm.
apply, learn, apply, learn, apply, and you're fostering an environment where they're learning. But now it's like, no, get your phone out, do the thing. Let's go here and do the thing, make the call. Love it. I mean, that's why your people, your agents perform. So
Yeah.
that's great stuff. All right,
Agreed. Agreed.
over to you. Number 2, bring it.
Ooh, okay. Question number 2 that I have for you. Okay. So this question would be geared towards brokers. So in our roles as brokers, we're coaching agents, and many of them want to get to 6 figures and be top producers and so on, but often equate that to not really having much work-life balance and strong overall well-being there. So for brokers, what would you say for us that we're coaching? How can we coach to that of creating top producers and successful agents who are still also very well balanced in their lifestyle?
Really good question. Okay. Somewhat similar answer, but I believe deeply in that individualized approach that we were just hitting on moments ago. And so I would say first and foremost, not letting agent count or some brokers who blame it on I just don't have time because again, agent count, I'm still in production or if it's not you, then that's not an excuse that it still doesn't get done. Go hire somebody or find somebody that can, because the agents deserve to have a leader who is willing to slow it down on the front end so we can speed it up on the back end. I need to know if it was Danielle, for example, what does Danielle want? Why does she want it? And then what's the path of least resistance to help her achieve that? And that's a whole different big formula to unravel, starting with the first thing of what do you want? I ask that question in so many words to people, and it fascinates me that many can't really succinctly articulate what I want. What does success mean to you? Um, um,
Mhm.
um, 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 but they're almost assured and convinced that they don't have it, even though they can't define what they want or what success is to them. So we got to get clear on that first. Then we go to, well, let's explore that. Why do you want that? Let's unpack that a little bit. Some people were just, I don't know, it sounded good. I picked the number of 6 figures from thin air. Okay. I need to know that's rooted in something substantial. What's at stake if we don't achieve it? Who else is counting on you to achieve that? Right.
Yes.
I'm gonna go places that they've probably never been asked or gone before. So there's an emotional connection now to what they said was important to them to achieve. Then we go into phase 3, which is the strength zone. Not giving a blanket one size fits all answer, or somebody like Danielle or me not inserting our bias, meaning, well, here's what worked for me, so just go do this.
Mhm.
Now get out of my office. No, I've got to know their disc. I've got to know all these different things about them so we can craft their lead generation or strategy plan according to their strength zone, not being convinced that success must live outside of their comfort zone.
Mhm.
I don't subscribe to that. So that's what I would tell somebody. And then just hold them accountable. Some people, that word freaks them out. Accountability, really, if you're doing it the right way, is just holding up the mirror to somebody else. You told me you wanted these things for these reasons, and this is how you said you were going to get it. So all I'm doing is holding that back up, asking questions, saying something's off here. The audio's not matching the video.
Mhm.
Is this still important
Yes.
to you because your actions aren't matching that, or has something changed and we need to revisit? Right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there's just so much to that question, and I could go on for days, but I'll spare you. But I think the more individualized, the better. Just checkpoints. What do you want? Why do you want it? What does that mean? And how are we going to get it? Last thing, I promise, Mars, MARSS. This is a coaching framework that I used for years, MARSS, Mars. And I do it in this order. I coach people according to mindset. That comes first. You got stinking thinking, nothing else matters. So mindset is, if that's good, then we go to the A. The A stands for activities. If you're doing the right
Mhm.
activities and your mindset's great and you're still not getting your results, okay, fine. Now we move into skill set development. I'm sorry. Now we move into, I skipped one, didn't I? Oh, results.
Yes.
MAR. R is the result, because there's conversion rates happening here. Then the first S is skill set development. Then the last S is systems and processes. So MARSS, that is all things, all conversations, all focuses. And we're able to go back and diagnose and check each one of them. If you're not getting what it is you desire, it's probably going to be found somewhere in there.
I love that so much. So I think that one, I'm stealing Mars.
Yeah. Without the R. I don't know why the R
I'm
left me there for a minute.
stealing that framework because it's genius. And at the end of the day, we all have a why that we're doing something, and many of our whys involve family, close friends, or something else that's personal to us. And if we're not whole for them, and we can't pour into them from an empty cup from ourselves. So we definitely want to balance that success with family time, or whatever it is that's important to you, for sure.
Yeah, and I guess I forgot that last half of your question with like the whole work-life balance type of thing. I'm just all about being present wherever you are. It's really not that hard, guys. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Time management is not the problem. Time blocking is not the problem. Y'all know what to do. Stop saying, I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. You're an adult. Figure it out. So it's not a time blocking issue. It's literally, okay, from 10 to 11, here's what I say I'm going to do. It becomes an integrity issue. Integrity, doing what you said you were going to do. The problem is, it's not that you told somebody else. It's that you broke the promise with yourself, and nobody's going to know. So it becomes about priority management, not time management, because I cannot manage time. It's ticking right now. We're literally never going to get that back. But I can manage my priority. It was a priority for me to be here today. It was a priority for Danielle to be here today. Her and I could be doing a zillion different things right now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we could. But because it was a priority, we chose to be here and show up. Why? Because we said we would. Okay. So a lot of that other half is, if you say you're going to be at work. Stop scrolling. Yes. Stop screwing around. Stop going through the motions. Otherwise, go home, be with your family, your kids, whoever it is that you enjoy spending time with, because now you're just robbing time from them. So I think that's one of our superpowers, Danielle. I don't know your calendar, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's like mine. If I'm here, I am a machine. I will get more in one day than a lot of people will get done in a week. And I know for you too. That's not a toot humble brag. It's because we're focused, we're clear on our goals, we're clear on our priorities and how to achieve those things. And we're okay saying no to everything else that would dare interfere with that.
Absolutely. I think that personal commitment to ourselves, showing up for whoever else is important to us in our lives, or whatever the item is what those who are the most successful in life, why they feel most whole. Their mental health is strong. Many of them, you also see them typically exercise, even if it's just a light walk, whatever level of activity it is. But you're seeing that they're kind of able to, as the various memes will joke, they're able to drink enough water, they're able to go exercise and still achieve at very high levels in their professional life. So
that's I promise I'll get to my third question, but that's a question I often ask the brokers, leaders that I personally still coach, and even our coaches sometimes. Just a simple question. When's the last time you've done anything for you?
Because this morning.
Yeah, great. Yeah, because we're gonna be like, well, I'm so burnt out. I'm exhausted. Burnout is just stress that's not properly managed, especially when you can't see the end. There's no end in sight. So sometimes we just got to either bring the fun factor back and or remind ourselves this is a business, and yet we don't have to be the sacrificial lamb for it. We're allowed to have a life too. Go on that vacation, take that walk, get out from your computer for 30 minutes and go do something.
Yes.
And you'd be amazed at how that keeps you sharp and in the game longer. So, okay. Wow, we went on a little rant there, didn't we?
It was needed.
Here's my third question for you. What has been I don't know if it's the great, let's say one of the greatest challenges that you've overcome as a broker owner leader. And what would you say you learned from it, whatever it is?
So I started Realty One Group in the summer of 2022. That's when our Tallahassee office, the next generation piece of the franchise, opened up, right? And so if we think back to 2022, I know we've been living in these rates now for a few years, so it's more normalized. But we started in January in the threes, low threes, and we had steady upticks. Summer it was maybe 5 to 6s, depending on where in the summer. And then by the end of 2022, rates were in the sevens, and there was all this sensationalism. Rates are so high, the market's gonna crash, like all of this unpredictability, because we went from unprecedented lows for the past 2.5 years to now unprecedented highs, which we know were not unprecedented. And so there was just so much talk. Agents were staying put, production was down for those 6 months, and particularly like the third quarter, you saw a lot of that. And so here I am, new broker, just opened up. I have a commercial lease we've signed, and all of these tremendous number of changes. I had a 1-year-old son at the time, and full entrepreneur. And so I was so scared, so nervous. My faith has always been really important to me. I'm a firm believer that God didn't bring me somewhere and give me the tools and ideas just to leave me hanging. So even if it was going to be tough, I was not ever going to quit. And so that's where the resilience came in. So we did grow our office in the first 6 months. We were still figuring it out. We had agents join and able to use different personal relationships, and agents I had past transactions with, and those were successful, came over. And we saw more growth, of course, in the 2023 and 2024 years, but ultimately resilience and being able to stand firm on a foundation of faith when there was so much unforeseen coming. And we just really did not know what to expect market wise, and was willing to roll with it regardless.
I on a personal note, I love that you bring in the faith factor into the conversation. And you're spot on. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really a mindset. It's a perspective, I think, isn't it? Where life is either happening to me or life is happening for me. And the to me
Yes.
group is, and I don't mean to be ugly when I say this, but like it's a little victimy. Okay, like, well, happened to me, and woe is me, why me? And I get it. We've all been there. I'm not Mr. Perfect here. But when we can shift that into, well, actually, if I believe truly that God is involved, this is just part of the plan. He's testing me. There's something I'm meant to prove, or whatever it is in the situation.
Absolutely.
There's actually a gift in that, which now it becomes
Yes.
life happened for me rather, and it's my responsibility to figure out why and how this moment is going to serve me and others in the future.
Yes.
Faith or
Yes.
fear. Yeah, you said it. Faith
Yes.
or fear are both believing in something that you cannot see. So which is it? Are you going to pick faith or fear? And I love it. You just
Absolutely.
walking proof of that. And I love that resilience. What you learn from is be resilient. And now it's like, wow, if I went through that and I can deal with that and overcome certain challenges, that makes you stronger, and it shaped who you are moving forward. You're just that much more battle tested and proved.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
love it. Okay, bring it on. I think you probably got one more for me.
Yes, and I think it goes so well with where we were just at. So now thinking of the future, let's go 3 years. We've been open for 3 years. So let's go 3 more years in your opinion. So over the next 3 years, looking at the real estate industry, what would you say for brokers is maybe a shift that you see, maybe kind of it's already starting, right, or on the horizon coming, that you think that brokers should start preparing for? It could be, positive, or something that people might view as a threat, but what shift do you maybe see for
Oh
brokers to
man.
prepare for?
I'm writing some things down so I don't forget. There's so much there. I mean, I'm not going to answer it this way, but just to acknowledge it for everybody watching, of course, artificial intelligence is somewhere in that conversation.
100%.
Whatever. That aside, that's a big topic for a different day, probably. I think there's always been a natural attrition in our industry, and a natural fallout in our industry. That's what they say, right? 87% of agents don't renew their license within, yeah, the whole thing. So this is a tough business. And those who think it's HGTV out there, you are grossly mistaken. This is hard business. And what makes it hard is the fact that a lot of people struggle or don't know quite how to approach their friends, otherwise known as their sphere of influence, their database, to have a business conversation or to have them reposition through their lens. Because if some of my friends still know me as goofy, silly baseball guy Jake, and I have failed at having them see me in a professional way now, right? You get, and that's all of us.
Yep.
And so I think to get to the answer of your question, preparing as always for some natural attrition, but I think more and more that's going to happen because of software and AI and other things trying to put us out of a job, trying to take us out of the center of a transaction. And I don't necessarily think that's a terrible thing. Here's what I'm working with brokers on right now to get ahead of that. Number one, getting really clear. There's a set of exercises I take them through to identify what their blue ocean strategy is. Because right now, broker owners are all competing on the same freaking thing. It's cash splits, it's fees, it's tech stacks, it's whatever share of the day. Like, okay, but what's the blue ocean? Because that's the red shark infested bloody waters. What's the opportunity that nobody's currently paying attention to that's really going to make you stand out? Really going to create a new value curve that the right agent is going to see and say, now those are my people. That's where I want to be associated with. That's valuable to me. So I'm helping brokers really get clear on what is your actual value proposition. And God, there's so much to this. Identifying who their ideal client is as a result of that. Client in this equation meaning ideal agent.
Yep.
I think I hope the trend I'm seeing and have believed for quite some time now is not just recruiting a bunch of bodies and this attitude, well, the good ones will make it and the bad ones won't, but it's just a numbers game. I hate that. I would much rather have a brokerage with 30 amazing producing agents than 200 just because I can say we're the biggest in town and it strokes my ego. Who cares? Nobody cares, especially if you're not profitable. Okay, so I think really tightening up what is our value, who is the ideal agent that we want to bring into that value so we know we can authentically support them, and not playing the numbers game is a shift. Because, and I obviously wouldn't name names, I am very aware that some very big names and or companies out there are not in the red, or are in the red rather, but you wouldn't know it. You're judging. You're thinking, wow, I wish we were that. No, you wouldn't, because you don't know the full story. There's a lot of that going on. And I'll tell you, to each their own, but some of it is you, the broker owner, take all the risk. You carry all the liability. And my goodness, what's the point of a business? It's to be profitable so that profit can fund your ideal life. You deserve it. And anymore, it's like a race to the bottom because everybody's wanting to do it for cheap, different commission splits, and we're making it all about the superficial stuff and not rooted in actual substance to say, hey, you know what? I'm an agent for Danielle Andrews. I don't care if I'm paying XYZ percent or fee to her. I want to see Danielle win just as desperately as she wants to see me win. And I get enough value, and I know, you know, she's able to earn a reasonable profit for herself. Like that's the win-win partnership that I see really going in the future, not just discounting ourselves to the bottom to see who can have the most agent count.
Absolutely. I agree. You know, it's so interesting. I've noticed that more and more young people, so I guess they would fall technically in Generation Z or whatever is after. I think it's alpha maybe. But anyway, because of social media, television, the shows and all of those things, which it sparked their interest, right? We didn't necessarily have real estate based TV shows in the growing up phase. you often, I didn't know a real estate agent growing up or anything of that sort. My parents did, and other adults did, but as a teenager or child, things to know, a real estate agent. So many of them I've noticed are seeing real estate as a career option. And real estate historically has been, for many people, a career in retirement or a second career. I technically am a testament right to that. And so it will be very interesting in the next few years. I guess this is kind of longer than 3 years. This might be closer to 5 and beyond. But to start to see those young people go from high school to the career or college to the career and things of that sort, and see what Generation Z as real estate agents looks like, and how their upbringing and impacts the real estate industry, especially as it's already embracing AI and tons of other digital components.
Right.
So I love all of that. I think that we're going to, in the next few years as brokers, we will have to be flexible, to be creative, and really every single thing that you say, it will not be a race to the bottom, because people have really proven that, yes, money is definitely important. We work hard for that, but they want to be a part of something that makes an impact more than just, who can have the most agents. Want to feel valued and not just as a number or anything of that sort. So
that's been my prediction for a while now, and I don't have to be right. Somebody may show this video to me later and said, "Hey, dude, you were dead wrong." Okay, fine. I don't care. But my prediction is, especially because in a post-COVID era, an artificial intelligence boom, all these things were becoming less and less connected in some ways, actually, like forgetting how to have a conversation and be social and all. There's a lot of, it's weird. And so I think the companies, not just real estate, but just companies in general that are going to win the future are expert community builders. I mean,
yes.
I'm sticking with Tony Robbins, who says there's 6 basic human needs. One of those is connection. We are human beings. We are pack animals. We're not meant to do life alone. And so I think the companies, yes, you got to embrace AI and all fine, but the ones who are really going to win also are really, really good at being community builders and still bringing people together.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
Yeah. Cool. You guys sound off in the comments. That's a very big, interesting topic, one that easily could end up in a debate. But let Danielle and I know what your stance is on that. That's a really, really insightful question. Okay, we're going to wrap up here in just a second. But before we do, Danielle, this has been absolutely amazing. You're just awesome. I think you're amazing. So full of nuggets and wisdom. But before I let you go, I'm going to sneak in one last and final question. And that is this: what is one piece of advice that you have either been given, or maybe it's just from you yourself, that you would want to pass along to our audience today?
Ooh, okay. So we've heard this before, so this is not a new statement. I want people to remember to embrace who they are, truly who they are, and apply that to your real estate business, whether you're a broker, an agent, aspire, wherever you are in life. I think that is so important in real estate, because what I love about the industry is there's no ceiling. There's not really a floor either, right? Whatever success you want for yourself, you can go and build that. But also whatever community or kind of niche area that you want, you can. I have seen people who love, we'll say, dogs, and so much of their clientele is dog lovers, and they've built an entire business around embracing who they are as dog lovers. They bring the dogs to closing. They are just like, they know everything in regards to that. And so the biggest piece is, don't feel like you have to abandon who you truly are to be successful in this business. At all levels, embrace who you are and apply that genuinely to your business.
That right there that'll preach. Okay, you guys, if you took nothing away from us, you might want to write that down and take it to heart. And I fully endorse that message. So this has been great, Danielle. Thank you so much for giving us your time, sharing with us some of your insights and wisdom with everybody. Absolutely incredible job. let's have you back sometime. We'll do this again if you're open to it in the future. In the meantime,
Yes, thank you for having me. I loved it.
yeah, of course. In the meantime, how if I'm an agent, maybe a fellow broker, just want to mastermind with you, ask some questions, what's the best way somebody can reach out to you and get a hold of you?
Always on social media, so please feel free for our social media page, ROG Next Generation. So ROG for Realty One Group, and then Next Generation. I do monitor those, all those come to me. But then also our website, there's an inquiry page on there if you'd like something like that, rognextgeneration.com. So please definitely reach out, even if it's just to say hello. You're stopping through Tallahassee, or maybe you're at convention. It's convention time for Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. So would love to see you at any one of those and just say hello.
Good point. Nice plug. And by the way, if you have a referral, hello, get a hold of Danielle down there too. But yeah, I didn't even think about that for sure. I'm feeling an excuse to go to Florida just so I can write it off and stop at Danielle's office for a minute.
Come on.
I mean, we're up here in Wisconsin. It's all right now, but here in a couple months, it's not going to be.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you again. We'll call this a wrap for round 16 of the Broker Showdown. High five, hugs to you, Danielle. We appreciate you, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.